Aldridge misses the shot, and of course Brooks played his college ball for the Oregon Ducks. He's from Seattle, Washington. We are tied at 6. Shane Battier.
Good recognition. Scola has a mismatch with Batum. Double team coming right to the hole. To Artest. That's 3.
And Ron bangs it in, and that's news for Houston. Ron Artest has not been shooting well. Just 25% from three-point range coming in.
Well, a lot of us been off balance, off the dribble shots. But if you give him time to set his feet, he's pretty good. Look at the D by Artest. Great hands.
Brandon Roy left alone, and he makes some pay. 5 quick points for Brandon Roy, and we're tied at 9.
You know what? I'm trying to find a flaw, Rick, on Brandon Roy. I can't. He does everything well.
Including off the court. He is a well-rounded young man and a sensational basketball player. 2-time All-Star guarding Shane Battier. Scola. The close by Aldridge altered that shot. Back come the Blazers. They do not have numbers.
Young fella Aldridge, you got to bang him. Bang him to get to the cup.
Fadeaway shot by LA goes. It's 11-9 Portland. That's his shot.
That's his shot, and I like that. Yes, it's still somewhat of a jump shot, but it's in the paint. And he gets a chance to touch the bodies first, and he might get to the free throw line. You're not going to get it if you're standing there shooting jump shots.
Luis Scola continuing his sensational series. Scola, the product out of Argentina, 16.8 PPG, 54% field goal shooting. That's 10th best in the playoffs. Here is Blake. And it is good. Portland on top by 3.
What a game we have, Rick. This is great basketball. Guys making shots, execute, and you can just feel the excitement in the Rose Garden.
Glad to have you with us on NBA TV. Aaron Brooks for 3. Rebounded by Brandon Roy. It is crucial, Smitty, for these two teams to get off to a good start. In the 7 games they have played this year, regular season and postseason, whoever has won the first quarter has won the game. Here is Aaron Brooks on the move, and he picks up the foul.
You know, this is a great start, Rick, by the Portland Trail Blazers and the Rockets. And let's look at right here, Brandon Roy. Here's the guy, shoots the 3 well, off the dribble, gets to the free throw line, and look at LaMarcus Aldridge. You know, it reminds me so much of Rasheed Wallace, a guy who can shoot the basketball at that high arc. He's just a talented young player. But for me, Rick, the question I'm asking the Houston Rockets, he's 7'6", his name is Yao. Can he touch the basketball?
Yeah, they have not worked it into him, and they're not really double teaming him either. That foul was on Brandon Roy, and a substitution for Portland, Rudy Fernandez, in for Nicholas Batum, and there is Rudy. Set a rookie record for threes in a season with 159, and he is having a sensational series here. LaMarcus Aldridge, yes.
He is fighting on that block. He has the size. Scola does a good job, but he's just a little for LaMarcus Aldridge. Stay in that paint and keep working it.
Yao Ming did hit a 3 this year. Here's Ron Artest. Scola, elbow extended, and it's good, and they have to know that that's where he wants to shoot.
I mean, Luis Scola is a guy you thought hustle, rebounding, make some plays, but offensively, he's the guy you can go through. Look at the matchup. Shane Battier, Lockett Trail, Artest. We have games within games. Chris Miller, you got to be ready.
Steve Blake claiming it was off on the Houston Rockets. The crowd does not like the call here in the City of Roses, and it appears they have changed the call. We have a timeout on the floor. LaMarcus Aldridge and the Blazers lead by 3. And we welcome you back to the Rose Garden with the Trailblazers on top 16-13. Rick Hamlin, Steve Smith on the call for NBA TV. Happy to have you with us here for Game 5 with Houston up 3-1. We saw Rudy Fernandez in the basketball game. Travis Outlaw has been the first guy off the bench for Nate McMillan's Blazers in the first 4 games of this series, at least the first perimeter player off the bench. Coming in, Travis Outlaw 29.5 minutes, Rudy Fernandez 21.3 minutes, despite the fact that Rudy has vastly outplayed Travis Outlaw. And Rudy picks up where he left off in Game 4. I was thinking that Rudy needed more minutes in this game, and we're seeing that right away.
You're right on cue, Rick. I guess you've been talking to Nate McMillan. McMillan says, hey, Rick, we got to get Rudy more touches. And you look what he's shooting, over 50 from the field, over 50 from 3. Right now, Travis Outlaw is struggling, and this guy, Volpe, is rolling.
What a block by Shane Battier. That looked like a clear fast break bucket. But Shane Battier turned it away, and he is obviously one of the terrific defensive players in the NBA. And back comes Houston with Battier right at Brisbilla. Defended well by Brisbilla. The loose ball comes to Roy, and the Blazers looking to attack. Steve Blake, Rudy Fernandez for three. It is good, and the lead is 21-13 Blazers.
Volpe, that's Rudy Fernandez. Knocking down threes. Just another weapon. Loosen up the Rockets defense. Right now, if I'm the Rockets, his name is Yao. He is 7'6". Can he touch it? Not at all.
Bad entry pass by Ron Artest. Portland says thank you very much. Back they come. Blake gets it back from Brisbilla, tries to turn the corner, cut off by Brooks. Here's Aldridge over Scola, fading and hitting. And the lead has swelled to 9. Make it 10 for the Blazers.
I would think this trip, no matter what, you didn't call timeout, the ball has to go to Yao Ming.
Rick Adelman not liking what he is seeing. Yao Ming in this basketball game, no shot attempts, and only 1 rebound. They got to get him involved. Rudy very much involved here in the City of Roses. And we welcome you back to the Rose Garden. The Blazers on top by 10. Rick Adelman just called time for the Rockets. Steve Smith, what's he going to run here?
Well, I think you got to get the basketball to Yao Ming. I think one thing you're looking at right now, you got to stop this run. You got to take the crowd out of it. Maybe Yao can get to the free throw line, make the guys double team, or he can just score the basketball. And also the reason why you get to Yao Ming, he's a pretty good basketball player, one of the best centers in this game, and you got to find a way. This lob right here has to be there. And when you look at it, you have a young point guard or scoring point guard in Aaron Brooks. That's where you miss veterans.
Well, they had a pick-and-roll play with Brooks and Yao. Brooks kept it himself, makes it an 8-point game. Travis Outlaw into the game now for Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy played 8 minutes, 5 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist, and he will have an early seed. Here is Rudy Fernandez off the screen, and Shane Battier catches up with him nicely. Rudy now drives out to LaMarcus. Little escape dribble on Scola, misses the shot. Brisbilla underneath, and he creates another opportunity for Portland. Aldridge, a series of fakes, but he's cut off by Ron. Here's Travis Outlaw trying to turn the crowd upside down. He cannot. Rebound to Yao.
Right now, Yao is doing a good job clogging up the middle, rebounding, and they're not rewarding him. Yes, Aaron Brooks is going to work. The young fella said, hey, Yao, if you want it, you better get it off the glass because I'm feeling it right now.
Crazy reverse layup, hanging and hitting Aaron Brooks. He had 6, and the lead is 6 for Portland. Daring Brisbilla to take that shot. Outlaw will fade, and he will hit the lead back to 8.
You know what I like about Outlaw? He's been struggling, but there's been no hesitation on his shots. Even if you're struggling, you can't think about it. You still have to play your game, shoot your shots.
Smitty, he's been bad for 4 games. The principle of due in full effect for Travis Outlaw. Scola again from the elbow, and again he hits it over Aldridge.
Scola is balling, Rick. All open shots, he's knocking them down. And defensively, he's doing a good job on LaMarcus Aldridge in this series. We have matchups within matchups. This is a great series.
And a good start to this game 5. Blake off the screen from Brisbilla from the elbow. It's good. Steve Blake hits his 3rd field goal of the game. He has 7.
And look at the shoot percentages. Both teams shooting over 63%. No free throws, just all jumpers.
And Nate McMillan has to do something about Luis Scola, who is killing them from the exact same spot every time down the floor. Scola 5 of 7 for 10 points. Both of these teams blistering it from the field, as you can see.
This game is 4-on-4 because Brisbilla and Yao Ming, they are not in this game. But Brisbilla has 2. He's winning the matchup.
We're at about a minute to go in the first quarter. Brooks to Scola.
What you think, Rick? Is this bucket?
Scola got an elbow into the throat of LaMarcus Aldridge. No foul called, and Scola puts it in. It's a 4-point game.
Scola gave the pump fake. Scola gave the dream shake. Scola gave him pump fake, up and under, then bucket.
And Scola's given him 12 here in the first quarter. Rudy moving and grooving to the cup, and he is fouled hard by the combination of Yao Ming and Shane Battier. The foul on Battier.
Look at this footwork. Yes, up, under, bucket. That's just good basketball. That's fundamentally good basketball, good footwork.
Joe Przybilla will have a seat. Greg Oden in, and Rudy Fernandez.
You know, a lot of
you see his three-point shooting, Smitty.
Off the charts. You know, a lot of people look at the scores, the box scores tomorrow, and say, why is Przybilla playing? Doing an excellent job defensively of keeping Yao Ming out of the paint, not getting touches. You can't always go by a score sheet, a box score, how effective a guy is doing and how he's helping his team.
Rudy Fernandez still has not missed a free throw in this series. Portland on top by 6. Von Wafer into the game. He has been sensational for the Rockets. Scola going again. Are they going to give him the bucket? They are. And one for Luis Scola, who's having one of the best quarters of his life.
Yes, indeed. I mean, he is playing the basketball game. And this is hard for big guys to catch the ball. Everybody's stripping down. Goes right at the shot blocker. I'm not going to fade away. I'm going to go straight to his chest. And I won't allow him to jump and draw the and one.
The foul was on Steve Blake. Chuck Hayes into the game took really the game-saving charge on Brandon Roy with Portland down 2 and less than a minute to go in Game 4. It was a turning point in that game. Scola rips cord. 3-point deficit for Houston. Luis Scola has 15 of Houston's 26 points. About a 4-second differential between the shot and game clock, and Greg Oden not looking for it.
Greg Oden not looking like he's ready to be in this basketball game right now. Got to get a little bit more excited. This is the playoffs, and they need you.
10 seconds to go in this first quarter. Aaron Brooks meandering through traffic, fading away from the free throw line, and Outlaws there with the rebound. 1 second left. It'll count if it goes. The Portland Trail Blazers, it is a positive harbinger for them. Whoever has won the first quarter in the regular season and in the postseason between these teams has won the game. The Blazers on top by 3 after 12 minutes. Scola with 15 to lead the Rockets. Steve Blake and Rudy Fernandez with 7 to lead the Blazers. And we welcome you back to the Rose Garden. The Blazers on top 29-26 in a beautifully played first quarter. If you did not enjoy yourself through the first 12 minutes, you might want to check your pulse. The Houston Rockets shooting 67% and trailing. How's that for irony? 57% shooting for the Portland Trail Blazers. They've made 3 of their 4 three-point attempts. They're a +3 on the boards. Houston getting into the paint, 12-4 advantage there. And Rudy Fernandez, a big reason why it is a 9-0 bench advantage for the Portland Trail Blazers, and more help from the bench. And another Spaniard, Sergio Rodriguez, will spell Steve Blake. Rick Kamla and former Blazer Steve Smith on the call for NBA TV, and give the people at home a taste and a feel for what it's like here in a playoff game at the Rose Garden.
Well, what it's like is this crowd is unbelievable. This crowd beats you to the gym. And I hadn't seen that in a long time. My 14 years playing in different places. They're excited. They enter their Blazers. This is the only show in town, and they really stick behind this team. Some of the best fans in the league.
It's called Blazer Mania, and they love their Blazers here. Of course, Blazer Mania originated in the 70s when Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas, and the Trailblazers won it all in 1977. Coached by Dr. Jack Ramsey, Hall of Famer. Ron Artest short. Rebound snatched by Travis Outlaw, and back come the Blazers. Sergio Rodriguez to LaMarcus Aldridge. Good look from the baseline, and he knocks it down.
That's a nice looking jump shot by LaMarcus Aldridge. But you got to give a lot of credit to Rudy Fernandez. Not Rudy Fernandez, Sergio Rodriguez. Penetrating and kicking. Point guards breaking down guys and finding. You'll love to run, and you'll try to get open for guys like that who will pass it.
Ron Artest, the skip to Von Wafer. Greg, you got to get out on him. Wafer's been hot. Vaughn off with that shot. Blazers by 5, and here they come.
Greg Oden doesn't seem like he's into this game right now.
LaMarcus Aldridge does, and a foul. LaMarcus Aldridge into double figures.
This play is made with ball movement, guys sharing the basketball, and they're just executing right now. Rodriguez is doing a great job of penetrating. Steve Blake, more of a guy, set up and wait for the shot. Rodriguez is the guy that's going to get into the defense and is going to make something happen.
They call him Spanish Chocolate as an ode to Jason Williams, a.k.a. White Chocolate. Aldridge cannot complete the three-point play, but the Blazers lead by 7. Kyle Lowry into the game. He will take it, and it was blocked by Rodriguez.
You know what I like about Kyle Lowry? He is a bulldog. He's going to make sure you're accountable when you guard him, because if not, he's going right to the basket, and he's trying to finish or get to that free throw line.
Ron Artest missed that one from H-Town. Rodriguez and Lowry. And that is a foul, and an obvious one on Rudy Fernandez, who got the left shoulder in on Lowry.
Disagree, Rick.
Really?
That's a great acting job by Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
Let's look at it. If we get a chance to see it again, but if not, guys learn the art of acting. I wouldn't call it flopping.
Here's what I would say. I would say Lowry sold the foul. But look at Rudy right here. Look at the left shoulder. I think the refs got that one right. And obviously the crowd here in Portland's going to hate that call.
It could have been totally right that the Blazers wouldn't have liked it. That's traveling.
Carl Landry into the game, and he promptly turns it over. And Brandon Roy, the assassin, back into the game for the Blazers. Rookie of the Year back in 2007, two-time All-Star. And LaMarcus Aldridge will have a seat. 10 points on 5 of 8 in 14 minutes.
He was Rookie of the Year, Sophomore of the Year, Junior of the Year.
2 All-Star appearances in 3 years. That's getting it done. Travis Outlaw working on Hayes, fading, and he's hitting. Travis Outlaw now 2 of 3, and I feel good for this kid. He has really struggled in this series.
You know what, Rick, what I love about him is when you get a chance to go to the gym, and a guy like this wasn't in the rotation when he was young. Working out, relentless with Coach Gergowicz, who's now in Denver, working on this game. Had no offensive game, really, just an athlete, catching lobs, but now he's a guy who can put it on the dribble and make plays.
Rodriguez off, the rebound to Chuck Hayes. Back come the Rockets, down 7. Landry thinks he's open, and Ron says not that open. Landry now faces up on Greg Oden. Oden face guarding, Landry spinning, and Landry is fouled by either Roy or Oden. And this could be big. Brandon Roy already has 1 foul. We will come back and tell you who that foul was on when we return. LA and the Blazers on top by 7. It was tagged to Greg Oden, and that is his first. The Blazers on top 35-28. Portland shooting 58%. The Rockets have cooled to 54%. Here's a look at the series recap. Houston won here in Portland in Game 1 by 27 points. Had I not seen it with my own 2 eyes, I would not have believed the final score. Game 2, Roy scores a playoff career-high 42. The Blazers even the series at 1. Then Games 3 and 4 won by Houston by a combined 4 points, giving these Blazers the youngest team in the 2009 NBA playoffs. A lot of optimism coming here back home for Game 5.
You're right, Rick. I think that first game just caught this young team by surprise. Houston came in and dominated, and that's what they were supposed to do. When you have a young team, you pencil that Game 1 because they just weren't ready. But after that, even though the loss in the next game, the games in Houston, this team, the Portland Trail Blazers, has found their mojo. And these games could have went either way.
Yes.
Right now, it could have been easily Portland up 3-1.
And what a story. As you see Rebecca Harlow interviewing General Manager of the Blazers, Kevin Pritchard. What a story that Carl Landry is playing again. Had the awful shooting incident where he was just plain the victim of random violence, took a shot in the leg, missed about 2 to 3 weeks, and he is back, and we are so happy for Carl that he still has his life and he still has his basketball career. Brandon Roy with the miss. Oden goes there and fights for the rebound and gets another possession for Portland.
That's what I like, making him get into this game. And Chuck Hayes, a good defender, but he's small. You got to jump over him, Greg.
and a traveling violation called on Greg Oden, and Chuck Hayes was roughing him up.
Yes, he was. Chuck Hayes is using his lower body strength, but right here, this is where Greg Oden can make him pay. His length and size, get on the offensive glass, offensively, pick a spot, jump hook. Chuck Hayes is not tall enough or athletic enough to bother your shots.
Both teams have been clean, just 8 combined turnovers. Lowry is off. The rebound to Rudy. To his Spanish teammate on the national team, Sergio. Cut off by Landry. Outlaw on the move. That's his shot. Little fade away from the baseline. Ron pulls it away. Some of the strongest hands in the league.
Strongest shoulders, strongest forearms, strongest body in the league.
Landry goes glass, and he hits over Outlaw.
That's a nice move. That's a show to the middle. There's a little dip. The guy bites. Come back over your left shoulder. Doop. Off the glass like Tim Duncan.
You love those Big Ten bigs, don't you?
Yeah, Big Ten, big man.
Lowry almost picked his pocket. Rodriguez into traffic. And a foul on the Rockets. It'll be on Carl Landry. Steve Blake back into the game for Sergio. And to think that the rookie Jared Bayless isn't even in the rotation. A sensational player at Arizona. This Blazers team is ridiculously deep. Greg Oden goes up looking for the flush. I believe that foul will be on Chuck Hayes. And maybe these free throws can get him into it a little bit.
I think so, Rick. Right now he's starting to look better. His body movement. And you can tell right now he's into the game. When he first checked in for about 3 or 4 minutes up and down, he didn't look like he was ready. Well, he's broken a sweat right now, so I think the big fella might be ready. But the free throw line, I don't think will get him going, Rick. I don't think he likes it. That's a charity strike.
Well, there's no question about that. Despite the fact that he's been 83% in the playoffs from the free throw line, but Greg Oden in the regular season just 64%. Yao Ming back into the game for Houston. Chuck Hayes departs with his 2 fouls, and Greg Oden 0 for 2.
Just destroying your 83%, Greg.
Portland on top by 5. Kyle Lowry still in there for Aaron Brooks at the 1. Greg Oden all over Yao Ming, and an easy call. That is foul number 2 on Gio. And now starting to make a concerted effort, well, now that he's back in the game, to get the rock to Yao.
You know, the biggest thing for Greg Oden right here is you just got to play behind Yao. If you're not going to work before the basketball get in position, just play behind him, let him catch it, and then go up and contest his shot. Because if you keep fighting with the big fella, you're not going to really get an angle if you're late.
Prisbilla off the bench promptly puts his rear end right into Yao Ming, letting him know, I'm going to be here all day long.
Well, this is where Yao has to understand. This is where you spin and seal. And right now, Yao is playing into Prisbilla in the Blazers' hand. He's not moving.
Landry on the drive. He was tied up by Prisbilla. The foul will be on Joel Prisbilla. And that is his second.
When you look at this play right here, Rick, Steve Blake, you cannot let Landry beat you off the dribble. There's a lot of pressure on your big. Yes, you will switch on the big, but you got to make sure he doesn't beat you off the dribble.
Landry hits the first. Carl Landry, the product out of Purdue, an undersized power forward at 6'9", 250. Easy for me to call him undersized. But this kid is a hard worker. Fantastic post moves, and he nails them both. And we have a 3-point game here at the Rose Garden.
Excellent game. Shane Battier, Brandon Roy going at it. Look at Shane Battier. I like how he fights through picks. Good help by Yao.
Over Yao. That was Rookie of the Year against Rookie of the Year, and Yao won it. Lowry back for Houston.
Rick, that was textbook defense by Shane Battier. And after this shot, and I'll tell you after this play.
Brandon Roy scores 1-on-2, just taking it right at him. Portland back on top by 5.
What happened, Rick, was when this guy drove the basketball, Brandon Roy, Yao went to help. Shane Battier went right to Prisbilla, blocked him out, cut his legs off, and got the rebound. That's how you play defense and team defense.
And that's how you defend Yao Ming. Another miss for the big fella. Outlaw from the corner. The rebound to Shane Battier. Yao Ming, that was his first shot of the game. He has 3 rebounds, no points.
Got to give it to him against Travis Outlaw.
Landry the miss. Yao the tip. It comes to Outlaw. And a foul away from the ball, Houston Rockets. Yao Ming, a frustrating first half. Can you believe he has no points? Brandon Roy has 7 for the Blazers. They lead by 5. And we welcome you back to Portland with this reminder to log on to NBA.com now for the most extensive playoff coverage and in-depth highlights of this Blazers-Rockets matchup, as well as up-to-date scores, stats, and schedules from the postseason. NBA.com, the game happens here. And remember, the post-game show on NBA TV will be simulcast on NBA.com. We have the unedited, uninterrupted press conferences for you to check out, and I highly recommend Stan Van Gundy following an Orlando Magic win or loss. We resume action under 6 minutes to go in the first half in Game 5. The Blazers on top by 5. Roy trying to change that. He cannot.
That was a good move. Got it to the paint. Probably expected Yao Ming to jump, so he shot the basketball a little bit too early.
Landry got that rebound. He also got the foul before the timeout. He now has 2.
Yes, they finally got the ball to the big fella. Now you have to work, Yao. Make a play so they can come back to you.
Yao Ming doesn't shoot. He passes it to Battier. Shane with the miss. Rebound tracked down by the Bulldog Lowry. Looked like it was off the foot of a Blazer. And it was. It'll stay right here.
And you said it right. That's an extra possession. That's a guy wanted the basketball more than anybody else on the court. Fought for that basketball, and Priscilla said, I can't get it, so let me kick it out of bounds. This is a place where you got to throw it to Yao. I'm not understanding. The big fella, you got to just throw it in.
Smitty, you've been harping on that the whole series. They have not been listening. Von Wafer hanging, floating, and that dude's got hops to spare.
That dude has game. I mean, at 7'6", I don't care if a guy's front, on the side, playing behind. You just throw it to the hand.
That was terrific defense on LaMarcus Aldridge. He hit it anyway.
It was, but it was better offense by LaMarcus. Good D, better O.
LaMarcus Aldridge, the only Blazer in double figures. He leads them with 12. Scola with 15 to lead everybody. Yao Ming with Priscilla on his back. The double comes from Blake. Yao way off with the shot. Landry keeps it alive, and Joel grabs it.
Well, Yao, if they're going to throw it to you, you got to make a better move.
A quicker move, right?
I don't know if he can make any quicker moves.
But I mean, before Blake gets there for the dig down.
Yeah, you know, the thing is for Blake,
Backcourt turnover, Outlaw on Yao. Goes high off glass and misses, and it's tough to get a bucket over 7'6", and wow.
You know, these plays right here, these are possessions that you might need, and guys are not making good decisions right now in the playoffs. This is not a time to take chances. You need every bucket and at least every shot you can get.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Aldridge goes in for the mega blast in Yao's face, and he is fouled. That would have blown the roof off the Rose Garden. Travis Outlaw with that pesky D.
Right here for Travis Outlaw. I think he should have just pulled up and also brought the basketball out. But look at this play right here. He is trying to throw this one down.
But the Great Wall was there to meet him. And the foul on Yao. Luis Scola and Aaron Brooks back into the game for the Rockets when we return to the City of Roses, the Blazers by 5. And this game really has been everything we thought it would. Houston looking for that knockout punch to really end the series and move on to round 2 for the first time in 12 years, but the Blazers aren't going out like that.
No, not at all. This has been a great game. I mean, this crowd has these young guys playing extremely well. Nate McMillan has these guys prepared. The Houston Rockets, for me, right now, they're struggling right now because they're shooting a lot of jump shots. And you can see it was at 60%, their field goal percentage starting to come down right now because they can't get Yao touches. But even the touches he hasn't made great plays.
And because Luis Scola's been out of the game and his 7 for 10 has been riding pine. Scola with 15. Aldridge hits the first LaMarcus Aldridge now 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field, giving Nate McMillan everything he wants. And in game 2, LA was big. He had 27 and 12.
He was, and I think when you look at it, it opened up and loosened up the defense for Brandon Roy to get a chance to knife through the basket, because he had another guy that was a big option for the Blazers. And for me right now, the guy who has to step up right now, if it's not going to be Yao, it has to be Artest when he comes back in the game, because Shane Battier is in the game. He's also a guy that can score points. But they really don't have anybody right now but Aaron Brooks who can get his own shot. So do you go through a guy like Von Wafer, or do you still try to pound it into Yao? Yao has to get big, has to want it, and has to make a play. Prisbilla doing an excellent job of making him work.
Yao Ming has had an up and down series. Von Wafer floating baseline out to Brooks. Brooks to Scola on the move. Hammers right into Prisbilla, and if he was outside of the restricted area, it's an offensive foul, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, I think Scola right here, when he went to the basket, had no angle. He just figured, here, let me put my head down. Nothing going right now. Prisbilla did a good job, but I'm not sure he's outside that restricted area.
You know what? His heel might have been above the restricted area as Artest is back into the game for Von Wafer. Ron Artest just 3 points on 1 of 3. Blake does not use the screen. Back to Aldridge. Over Yao. It's good. Right in his face.
Marcus Aldridge. Confidence. And he's doing a great job of inside, outside, and the point guards are doing a good job of finding him.
Well, the power forwards are going off. Scola and Aldridge each have 15. The lead is 8 for the Blazers. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Game 5 of this best-of-7 first-round playoff series. Yao the turn, Yao the left-handed hook.
Shane Battier. Did you see that crisp pass right into Yao before the defense was set?
For Yao Ming, his first field goal. Blake from the corner. Yes, Steve Blake rips that 3. He's into doubles with 10.
He's in the zone. I'm not going to penetrate much, but I'm going to knock down all open shots.
Aaron Brooks trying to feed Yao. Now he does. Aaron Brooks committed a foul on his own teammate. AB gets it back, goes reverse, defended well, and a foul on Luis Scola. That'll be his second.
Look at Steve Blake. Probing. Drew Scola. Nice pick by Prisbilla. Scola couldn't get back out.
Smitty, you and all the shooters you played with used to practice over the broom, right?
No, I didn't practice over the broom. That's the big guys in the paint. I didn't need a broom. I need some hands. I need guys checking me.
But that shot by LaMarcus Aldridge was over a skyscraper coming right at him.
I mean, he has that release that followed through. The arc reminds me of Rasheed Wallace and Glenn Rice, where these guys extend at the top of their shot. It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful thing to see, and Travis Outlaw, 1 of 2. That's stroke.
I should have worked with a broom. You're right, Rick. I got to hit some more shots.
Hey, you scored over 13,000 points. I think the way you were doing it was just fine. 10-point lead for the Blazers. Scola setting him up to come back baseline. That's what he did. He went glass and he scored.
All day long. Come on, LaMarcus Aldridge. Beautiful move by Scola. Rick Kamler saw it. You got to see it.
Aldridge now a chance to answer. Outlaw passed up the 3, wants 2 over Yao, and he gets it.
That's the play I like. For the guy who you see off his bounce, he's a good guy. Does a good job of one dribble pull up, and he elevates on that jump shot. Throw it, no matter who's there.
Yao Ming fouled by Aldridge, and they will score the bucket continuation style. LA says, who, me? Yeah, you. Foul number 1 on LaMarcus Aldridge.
Let's look at this last play right now. Show and go and jump, elevate. That's nice basketball. That's a tough shot. Look at Shane Battier. So what is the guy behind him when he's front? Who's going to catch it? And that's LaMarcus Aldridge. The guy is close to 7 feet. You still throw the basketball because he's 7'6". He's going to catch it.
Rudy Fernandez into the game for the Blazers. Yao Ming now 5 and 5. 2 of 4 from the field. He's played 17 minutes. Brandon Roy spins off of Artest right into Scola, and a traveling violation on Brandon Roy, and he took a shot to the face.
He did. Nothing intentional. It's just the lane clogged up. Big bodies in there. We should be all right. Let's watch a good job by Yao and Scola. Scola did anything but stand still. And Brandon Roy had his head down, ran right into Scola's, I would say, side or hip.
Yeah, it looked like the bone of Roy's face hit the bone of Scola's hip, and that will leave a mark. Rockets down 7 under a minute to go in the first half. Yao, a deep touch, and he slams it down with the left hand.
And I've been talking about that, Rick, even when we were in studio. You run somebody to the corner, you create a triangle, you're not going to be in front because when you get into the corner, it's an easy pass right down to Yao.
Coming up next, the T-Mobile halftime report. Ahmad, GP, and C-Web from our studios in Atlanta. Here is Rudy Fernandez backing up, missing the shot over Shane Battier, and Scola grabs it.
How many times do we call this name? Scola, Scola, Scola. That means you're working.
17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 of 11 in this first half for Luis Scola, and he may not be done. Sets a screen for Aaron Brooks. Brooks 3 for 3, doesn't want it. Drives right into Brandon Roy, and an offensive foul taken by Brandon Roy, who is all sorts of wounded right now.
When I look for Aaron Brooks right now, you know he's a scoring point guard. When you look right here, once you beat the guy, the ball got to get out of your hand right now. You got to give it up. But he's looking to score. You got to look past first and then score second.
And Smitty, as you know, we've talked on and off the air. This is my favorite timeout in basketball. You take one before the first half. You set up a beautiful play as opposed to just leaving it to the play you call. Get your guys over there, draw something up on that chalkboard, and try to get a little bit more momentum going into the half.
Is that Nate McMillan? That's Prisbilla. Right now, he's coaching. So, hey, if I'm a front, somebody has to be behind me.
Prisbilla is competitive, and he hails from my alma mater. He's my guy like that, University of Minnesota. 12.2 to go here in this first half. Prisbilla, his numbers, 2 points, 3 rebounds, and a whole lot of defense on Yao.
You weren't bringing up your Wolves, were you? No, my Wolves.
I can't go. There are no Wolves ties to this game at all, with the exception of my Wolves trading Brandon Roy to these Blazers for Randy Boyd.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, and here is Brandon Roy.
You know, this is the play Nate McMillan drew up. Isolation, one-on-one, Brandon Roy. Pick and roll. I got Chuck Hayes. Put him in the blender. Yeah.
Roy goes by him and lays it in, and that was easy. 0.7 left in the half, and we are through 24. The Portland Trailblazers looking to stay alive, lead by 7. Number 7 has been huge. Let's get it to Atlanta for the T-Mobile halftime report. Ahmad, GP, and C-Web standing by. Fellas, take it away.
So here is the Volkswagen game summary.
First half, look like everything's a little even. You know, rebound, everything's even.
Whenever we say, "No, man, you got me messed up."
What I do now?
Whenever you say, "What number stands out at you?" I'm always like 50 to 43.
All right, it's time to get back out to Portland. Here's Rick Campbell and Steve Smith for the call of the second half.
All right, Ahmad, GP, and C-Web, thank you so much. Game 5 resumes. Portland Trailblazers looking to force a Game 6 Thursday night in Houston. At the half, the Blazers lead by 7. Ron Artest and the Rockets will strike first here in quarter number 3. Aaron Brooks from the left wing. It's off the mark. Rebound taken by Prisbilla. And Smitty, bench scoring was huge in the first half. 14-8 in favor of Portland. They lead by 7, a +6 in that category. And also turnovers. They had 13 points off of 9 Houston turnovers. Just 4 Houston points off of 5 Portland turnovers.
Yes, indeed. They did a good job, this young team, of taking care of the basketball, knock down shots. And the other thing for them is they got to the free throw line 9 times, only made 4, but they got to keep driving the basketball. Don't just settle for jump shots, because this game is starting to slow up and slow up.
Scola was stripped by Aldridge beautifully, and then Scola gets the jump ball. So the top scorers at the half. Scola with 17 for Houston. Aldridge with 15 for Portland are going to jump it up.
Yes, indeed. Those two guys really battled in that first half. The guy that I'm looking to step up for the Houston Rockets is Ron Artest. I think he has to start playing well. For the Portland Trail Blazers, for me, right now you got to go through your superstar, Brandon Roy. Let him take you home.
Smitty, Ron Artest just 14.3 PPG coming into this Game 5. He has not been a huge factor for the Rockets. He is their fourth leading scorer through the first 4 games. Tip one and by Portland, and Brandon Roy back for the Blazers. Brandon Roy, 9 points in the first half. And he will take the open baseline, Jay, and miss. Rudy Fernandez starting the second half for Nicholas Batum, and Nate McMillan basically saying, you know what, this could be our last game of the year. I'm not going out with a rookie in terms of Nicholas Batum. I want Rudy Fernandez out there. LaMarcus Aldridge hits again. He has 17. The lead is 9 for Portland.
You see that play right there. There's nothing Scola could do. Just hope he misses the shot. I don't understand it. Yao is asking for the basketball. Shane Battier is the only guy that's beating the basketball when he wants it, when he needs it, and quickly. Now, right now, you got to make a move, Yao.
Yao Ming fades and hits over Joel Prisbilla, and he is an absolute freak at 7'6" to be able to do that.
Well, you know why he's a freak, Yao, just because what you said, Rick. He can hit the fadeaway, he can hit the jump hook, and if you foul him, he is shooting over 80% from the line.
The lead is 7. Number 7 can't make it 9.
This is where Portland has to be careful. Right now, you don't want the Houston Rockets to get in any rhythm, and you can't settle for jump shots. Give it to the big fella, Yao.
Traveling violation on Yao Ming, easy call, and another turnover for Houston, their 13th.
I still like that play, Rick. Even though he traveled, you got to put some pressure on the Portland Trail Blazers with your guy, Yao Ming. Prisbilla doing a good job of bumping him. Just got his feet caught up. Easily could have been a foul if he didn't call travel.
Correction, turnover number 12 on the Houston Rockets. And C-Web said it at the half. Joel Prisbilla did not have a lot of stats, but he had a lot of great defense on Yao Ming. More of it right there. Roy Short, again, he has come out cold here in this third quarter, missing all 3 shots. Roy fights through the screen that Yao tried to set. Ron down low to Scola. And it's blocked by Aldridge, and a foul on the Houston Rockets. I'm guessing they got Scola on a little clear out with the left hand.
Well, he made a nice move, but LaMarcus Aldridge didn't bite. But when you got a chance to look at here, went to the hole, LaMarcus Aldridge played him well, went to block it with his left hand, not his right hand, and that's big, Rick, because if he comes with his right hand, he comes across the body. Left hand, he times the right-handed shooter. Imano.
That's a wonderful call by the official because you saw Scola grab the arm of LaMarcus Aldridge to keep him off of him. LA won that struggle, and Aldridge jams it down on Yao Ming.
He wasn't to be denied. I like what he did. Put his head down, throw the basketball, and say, hey, you either got to block it or I'm going to dunk it.
Brandon Roy playing sticky D on Ron Artest. Aaron Brooks all the way to the cup over Prisbilla, nothing doing. Rebound weak side to Blake. Blazers back +9. Under 10 on the shot clock, Aldridge off to Prisbilla for the jam, and Rick Adelman wants time. The Blazers by 11.
Is that beautiful run? A big guy, 6'11", rolling, has the presence, Rick, to drop it off to a center. Watch this, without drawing a charge. Beautiful play.
Fans on their feet. The Blazers by 11. Rick Kamla, Steve Smith on the call for NBA TV. LaMarcus Aldridge making plays, 19 points, 2 assists, including the dime to Joel Prisbilla, who had the dunk that sent this crowd into hysterics. And you see right here the series schedule. Houston won the first game by 27, Portland behind 42, got game 2 to really make it a series. Then Houston went win-win in their games at home by a combined 4 points. And, of course, game 5 here tonight, the Blazers looking good, but a lot of work left to do. Game 2, if necessary, Thursday in Houston.
And you listen to this crowd, Rick. It is standing room only. It is loud. And they are cheering their Blazers who are playing good basketball.
Steve Blake harassing Brooks. Yao Ming does not shoot over Prisbilla. Ball fake. 3 ball from Brooks won't go. Prisbilla, he does get that rebound. Yao Ming tapped it.
I love what Steve Blake is doing. He is running his offense. He is calming them down. He is making sure they get the play they want. Sometimes young teams can get caught up in running up and down. Right now they're playing good playoff basketball, which is half-court basketball during the playoffs.
I know it's midway through the third quarter, but the crowd here at the Rose Garden is smelling blood. They're ready to erupt at anything positive their team does, currently on top by 11. Battier guarded by Rudy. Here is Ron, doubled by Roy and Rudy. And it's taken away by Rudy Fernandez. Beautiful dig down and the steal.
They are making a conscious effort to go to LaMarcus. And he is rolling right now.
In and out for Aldridge and off of LaMarcus. Back to the Rockets. 6:40 to go here in the third.
Good D by Rudy. As soon as they put it down, give me that. Artest is a guy right now, I think, for the Rockets. He has to get it going.
Shane Battier was looking to get it into Yao. Portland said, Here's Aaron Brooks. Battier back to Brooks. Shot clock now an issue. It's down to 5. Brooks lost the dribble. Fumbling it. Out to Yao Ming. Beats the shot clock, and he scores in a critical basket for Houston. They're down 9.
They needed that basket. You did not want to fall down to the Portland Trailblazers by more than double digits and continue this lead to grow, because this crowd will get louder and louder. But I think right now, Artest, Shane Battier, these vets have to make plays.
And the foul on Yao Ming on the baseline, but you saw the defensive principles there for the Houston Rockets. Building a wall on Brandon Roy. He gets by one guy, then there's another guy. Gets by him, then there's another guy.
Well, there's 3 guys guarding him right here. He did a good job of just forcing the issue. Had nowhere to go. Threw his body into Yao, who was a second late, and there goes Artest. Just like I said, you have to make plays. You play the game, no matter if you're scoring or not, Rick. You can make other plays, whether it's passing, setting picks. When you're an all-star, when you're a big-time player like Battier, Artest, and other guys, just make basketball plays.
Ron Artest has made this a 7-point game. You remember that 3 attempt by Rudy Fernandez that was out for Portland would have made it a 14-point game. Rudy, nice feed to Prisbilla. Oh, but it hops out. And it comes to Yao Ming, and the fans here at Portland saying, come on. There was no foul there, however.
Scola, Aldridge, good move. Beautiful.
That is as good as it gets in the post from a sensational player named Luis Scola. They are rocking and rolling in Argentina, and they're loving it in Houston as well. The Rockets on a run. Nate McMillan wants time. 6-0 run, and they have gotten back into this game down only 5. 5:08 to go in the third quarter. Rick Kamla and Steve Smith on the call for NBA TV. And out of that timeout by Nate McMillan, what does he want?
Well, I think right now he wanted to settle these guys down. He saw the Houston Rockets were making a run. He wants to get the play he wants to get these guys back to making plays. And you can't have a turnover coming out of timeout. Coaches really just can't stomach that. Grew up a play and you have a timeout. And I think right now that's been the biggest thing. Plus for the Portland Trailblazers, they have not been turning the basketball over. Right here, turnover. Outlaw did the right job making sure Shane Battier didn't get it up for and 1.
So Shane Battier to the line. He has 2 points in this game, has not made a trip to the free throw line. Battier's numbers up in this series compared to what they were in the regular season. 10 PPG for Houston, through the first 4 games, 7.3 in the regular year. And you can see the complementary players for the Rockets stepping up. Scola, Brooks, Wafer, and Battier, all a plus in the PPG from the regular to the postseason. Yao and Ron have dropped in terms of their scoring average here in the playoffs. A 3-point lead now for Portland. It is an 8-0 run for the Houston Rockets, keyed by their defense. Outlaw, the pump fake, Battier right in his face with the hand, but the offensive rebound to Blake.
That was perfect defense. Shane Battier split the difference with his shot, got his hand up through, right over his face, and just stayed down on all pump fakes.
Brandon Roy over Yao. It's good. What a move by B. Roy.
That's just a beautiful move, knowing you have 7'6" Yao coming. Even though he's 7'6", you can put your body in between him and still finish.
First points of the second half for Roy. He ends the Houston run. The Blazers by 5. Przbilla with the defense, but it was out of bounds off of Joel. 13 on the shot clock for the Rockets. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
When you watch this play right here, watch Brandon Roy. I'm going to go right into Yao's chest, use my body, but look at Przbilla. Helping out Brandon Roy, who Artest had him sealed underneath the basket.
And Joel Przbilla, no stranger to the hardwood here at the Rose Garden. Aaron Brooks passed on a 3. Hangs going for 2. Ron Artest gets the rebound up with the left hand, and he is fouled. Ron Artest will go to the line with a chance to make this a 3-point game.
Rick, this is the way he can put his imprint on this game. If he decides he wants to get every offensive rebound, you got to put a bigger guy, and he can wear down Brandon Roy's legs if you're trying to box out Ron Artest every trip, if he puts his mind to going to get every rebound.
Foul on Joel Przbilla, his second. Ron Artest strokes the first.
Look at this guy right here. He's so strong. Przbilla saying, hey, what did I do?
Smitty, Ron Artest had 7-1, 245 all over him, and it didn't matter. And Ron hits both free throws. We're back to a 3-point game. Artest now with 7, also has 4 assists and 3 rebounds.
That's because he's 6'7", 260.
And strong as an ox. Artest now guarding Roy. Knocked away by Artest. The loose ball comes to Scola. And back come the Rockets with a chance to tie with a long one.
There he is. Look at Brandon Roy trying to battle. You're not going to get around him. And this is weighing on you, because if he keeps putting his head down, this can really take your legs away when you're trying to hit jump shots late in the game.
Shot clock down to 5. Ron makes his move. Yao hits it from the baseline. We got a 1-point game.
Artest gave him the sneaky Smitty real quick. Oopsie-doop.
The Rockets surging here late third quarter. And Luis Scola will be called for the foul, and that is a big one. Foul number 4 on Luis Scola, trying to defend LaMarcus Aldridge.
Playoff basketball is getting a little touchy. Rick Adelman has to make a choice right now. And I figure he wasn't going to roll with Scola with 4 in the third quarter. You got to get him out. You're the Blazers, you got to go right down to LaMarcus Aldridge right now against Carl Landry.
It's basically sub time for Scola anyway, late third, here 3:04 to go. 12-2 run by the Houston Rockets. Brandon Roy off to Przbilla. LaMarcus Aldridge over Landry, and he stays in the zone. LaMarcus Aldridge puts the Blazers up 3. He has 21 points on 10 of 16.
Well, I like what Przbilla is doing. Yao is helping. He's catching the basketball, and he's moving it quick to an open person. You look right now, Blazers have went to a big lineup, taking out the point guard, and just basically going with Brandon Roy and Rudy at the 2 for 1 and 2.
Their ball from Landry. Portland gets it back. 2:28 to go in the third. And a look at the venerable Rick Adelman, former coach of these Blazers. Took them to the finals twice. Aldridge faces up on Landry. Now backs him down. Knocked away by Carl Landry beautifully, and it triggers a break for Houston. Brooks pulls up for 3, and he nails that 3, and we're tied at 60.
I mean, when you look at Brooks, Rick, he's been struggling from the field, just 4-12, but lacking in confidence, not. He's still pulling up off the dribble and a semi-break for three.
Brandon Roy couldn't hit that shot over Yao. LaMarcus Aldridge went for the follow flush, the foul on Battier. So LA, the leading scorer in this game at 21, will head to the line.
Well, right now, Carl Landry went to box out. You know, everybody telling you textbook, turn your back. But I'm a believer, hey, let me see the guy. Let me have a shoulder to him, because when you turn your back, you can't see him and you can't feel. And that's what Landry did, turned his back, and LaMarcus Aldridge just went right around him.
Aldridge got the roll on the first, and Portland back on top by 1. And to think, back on draft night 2006, Kevin Pritchard pulled off not one, but 2 coups, getting Brandon Roy from the Wolves for Randy Foye, getting LaMarcus Aldridge from the Bulls for Tyrus Thomas. Their cornerstone players acquired in trades in the same draft. And LaMarcus Aldridge, 2 for 2, a 2-point lead for Nate McMillan's Blazers.
Hear that chant, Rick? Defense. Defense. He stops.
Great pass to Aaron Brooks, and the bucket ties it at 62.
Did you hear the chants now? It's just like,
Well, if they're chanting defense, why don't they now chant offense?
No, we got to get some fans somewhere in some arena go offense or buckets.
Well, we got GP in the studio saying buckets when they hit him. Here's Travis Outlaw. Rebound to Yao, and the Rockets have a chance to take a rare lead in this game. Portland has had control basically throughout. Underneath to Landry, and he fumbled it away.
Beautiful pass by Aaron Brooks. Landry, you got to be ready. Step out, LaMarcus. Uh-oh, he's about to show him his skills.
Yao Ming didn't get in his face, and he made him pay again.
Through the legs, from the 6'11", through the legs. Pull up by LaMarcus. He said, I'm a guard when I have Yao Ming guard me.
25 points for LA on 11 of 17. Brooks is denied. I believe that was Brandon Roy with the rub.
You know, when you're Brooks and you're playing against a big lineup right now, use your quickness.
Roy was looking for an early knockout punch. 30 seconds to go here in the third. Brandon Roy having an off night. He's 5 of 14. Artest out to Brooks, not shine.
Not at all. But I still think you got to give Yao Ming a look, a touch. The big fella has to get it. I love this. Isolation. I hate to see the pick come. I want Imano, Artest versus Roy. Right now, Roy versus Landry, advantage Roy.
Roy to Aldridge. That's a three-point attempt, and it's a Peja Stojakovic-esque air ball circa last night in the 58-point drubbing to the Denver Nuggets. He missed everything long.
Like Peja, we can't call it an air ball. That's a over. He shot an over.
And they will put 1.5 back for the Houston Rockets. Brooks denied by Rudy Fernandez. A block to end the third quarter for the Portland Trail Blazers. You come to NBA TV for spicy basketball, and that's exactly what we deliver night after night. Blazers 64, Rockets 62. Game 5 from the Rose Garden. We return with the fourth quarter in moments. On to the second round for the first time since 1997. Houston shooting 49%, Portland 47%. Houston not making threes, Portland's 40% in that category. Houston a +3 on the boards, +10 in points in the paint. The bench points still the advantage to the Portland Trail Blazers. Thanks for joining us here on NBA TV. Rick Hamla, Steve Smith, former Blazer and former NBA champion on the call. And we pick it up with a defensive play by Kyle Lowry. Took it away from LaMarcus Aldridge, and he is fouled by Sergio Rodriguez. And we have seen multiple defensive plays by various players on the Rockets that have gotten them back in this game.
Where they're digging down, digging back, and getting a chance to get their hands on basketball, slapping at it. You never know. A guy might just turn it over and give it to you. LaMarcus Aldridge did that right there. Couldn't handle the basketball because Lowry just being the pest and getting a chance to create that turnover.
Lowry to Wafer, it's good. Von Wafer.
Uh-oh. Looked like Von Wafer hurt his back a little bit. Come on, young fella. Shake it off.
And he's got to check Rudy Fernandez. Obviously not an easy task. And Von Wafer still grimacing. And a foul on Greg Oden. We'll give it back to the Houston Rockets. And Blake back into the game for Sergio Rodriguez. 11:20 to go in this fourth quarter. Seven-point Portland lead at the half. 2-point Portland lead to start this fourth quarter, and we're currently tied. Battier off to Vaughn. They had Yao for a moment, and now Lowry gets it into him. Yao goes into Oden, looking for the foul. Oden with the rejection, triggers the break for Portland. LaMarcus Aldridge has been the money man. Travis tried to get it back to him, takes it himself, and he misses.
That's a tough runner. I wish Travis Outlaw could have regained his balance, got into the lane, jump shot or went to the basket a little bit stronger than that.
Good seal by Yao Ming and a foul on Greg Oden. And for Oden, that will be number 4. He had 0 points, 3 rebounds, 4 fouls in 7 minutes.
Well, right here, I think Greg Oden is being a little bit too concerned about not letting him get the basketball. Sometimes you just don't get caught at a bad angle where you can't help it, and you just got to let him catch it. Then you just got to play defense.
Yao Ming and Shane Battier, the only starters on the floor for Houston, and you can see they're running all of these plays for Yao. Yao delivers a bucket, 66-64 Houston. Yao Ming now with 15 and 10.
Well, right here, when you look at Yao Ming, look at his numbers, 7 for 10. That just shows you he has to get more touches. He makes correct plays. When he's passing it, if he's not passing it, he knocks down shots.
Foul on Carl Landry. First team foul on the Houston Rockets.
I love this right here. Yao just sizing up Greg Oden. You have your hands down, okay. Just pull up. Bingo. Even Yao like that one. Gave us a little ready to go.
Yao Ming will have a seat. I'm sure that won't be a long blow for him. We're under 10 minutes to go. The Rockets by 2. Here's Aldridge. He's been the money man for the Blazers. The shot over Landry cannot tie the game.
Well, this is where I'm looking at right now for the Houston Rockets. Rick Adelman's trying to buy some time. No Battier, no Artest, no Yao, no Scola. Where do you go for offense? Von Wafer. What a excellent pickup by the Rockets. Finding Von Wafer, who has been terrific all season.
He is a true NBA Development League success story. Von Wafer has had a tremendous year for the Houston Rockets. Now Oden with a touch, backing down Chuck Hayes. He misses it, and Carl Landry snatches it. And the Rockets, with their biggest lead of the game at 4, have a chance to build.
Chuck Hayes is so strong. I like what Rudy's doing. He's trying to deny. Don't give up a foul. You're too close. Von Wafer has some speed and some game.
And a foul over the back there. I believe that was on Carl Landry. 8-2 run for the Rockets to take this 4-point lead. And here comes Brandon Roy to the rescue. When we return, we'll see what B-Roy can do to turn the frown upside down. Von Wafer feeling. A look inside the Rockets Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon. And the home squad down 4. Looking to stay alive. The Houston Rockets looking to move on to the second round for the first time since 1997, when they defeated the Seattle Supersonics in the Western Conference semifinals. Yao Ming has never made it to the second round since being drafted by 2002, by the Rockets in 2002. 0 for 3 in terms of escaping the first round for Big Yao. And a foul on Chuck Hayes. Trying to guard Greg Oden, and you can see right there, Hayes is giving up much size to G.O.
He is, but I think his center of gravity and his strength and size is helping him out right now. And Rick, it looked like the Portland Trailblazers is trying to make a conscious effort to go down to Greg Oden. Until Greg Oden can show us that he has the post move in his playoff games, you're going to have to start going to your big guns, Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge. Save that for next year.
Well, Carl Landry has just picked up his 5th foul. He's played 12 minutes, and he now has 5 fouls. And Carl Landry will have to take a seat. Ron Artest back in for the Houston Rockets. And for Portland, they were 17 of 17 from the free throw line in Game 4. 6 of 11 from the stripe here in Game 5. Brandon Roy over Battier, it's good.
That's just nice basketball. That's one-on-one. Give the hard 2 dribbles explosion like you're going to drive it, stop on a dime. It's hard for a defender to recover and contest that shot.
As you can see, Brandon Roy has not had it going. 6 of 15, 9 points at the half, just 4 here in the second half. Ron Artest bodying up Outlaw, and it's picked off by Greg Oden. Ill-advised pass by Artest, and back comes Rudy. 9th steal for the Blazers, setting up Travis Outlaw.
Ooh, good D by Chuck Hayes off the dribble.
Brandon Roy hanging in the lane, and he will head to the free throw line. Brandon Roy has not attempted a free throw in this basketball game, a chance to tie the game.
Well, one thing you like about this, first we see this play by Ron Artest. Not sure where he was going to Chuck Hayes. You got to kick it out to Shane Battier. But on the play on the other end, Brandon Roy didn't have much. But that's what the great players do, Rick. They just make something happen, throw your body in there, and get to that free throw line.
A look at his series numbers, 28.3 PPG. He has led the Blazers in scoring in every game, and that is the 3rd best scoring average in these playoffs, shooting 46%, tied with Yao Ming in shot blocking coming into this game at 1.5 per, and Brandon Roy hits them both, not surprisingly. He has 15. We are tied at 68, 7:43 to go.
All tied up, and this is what's scary. The Blazers have that guy, and Brandon Roy, who can just explode. On the Rockets side, I don't see anybody right now that can just take over this basketball game offensively besides Yao, but they can't get it to him. I think right now the Rockets are just going to play team basketball, move the basketball, and just make plays. All 5 guys.
The fans loving the D from Oden. Ron Artest off with the 3, and the rebound taken by Blake, and a loose ball foul on Kyle Lowry. Looked like Nate McMillan a little bit perplexed with maybe a decision by Travis Outlaw on a recent possession.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what he was trying to say to him. I think the biggest thing is trying to have him in position where you can open up the space for these guys to drive the basketball. It's coming down to free throws. Guys making free throws.
And Smitty, Steve Blake, who misses right there, has been awful by his typically high standards at the free throw line in this series. 67% in this series, 84% for the year. He rattles in the second. The Portland Trail Blazers take a 1-point lead under 7.5 to go. We saw him go 1 of 5 in the clutch in an early game against the Los Angeles Clippers. It was ultimately a loss for the Portland Trail Blazers in double overtime.
Yeah, he has it on the sweet spot. I don't think he can take a dribble. I guess he could. Thought it might have been double dribble. Good pass by Artest.
Repost into Yao. The shot is off, and a great rebound by Travis Outlaw. Numbers for Portland. Brandon Roy. And a foul on Kyle Lowry. The pesky bulldog, as you called him, getting his nose in there, trying to make it tough on Brandon Roy, but he is whistled for the foul.
Well, right now he's hurting his team because this is an obvious foul right here. What you're doing right now is picking up these fouls, and guess what? Once they get into the penalty, like now, it puts a lot of pressure on guys like Battier and Artest, who's guarding Brandon Roy, because now any touch foul, he goes to the line.
Greg Oden nails the first. The lead is 2 for the Blazers. First make from the free throw line in this game for Greg Oden. He is 1 for 3. Game 5 from the Rose Garden. Rockets and Blazers. Oden 2 for 2. Coming up clutch here in the 4th quarter. Kamla and Smith on the call for NBA TV. We are psyched to have you with us. This place is rocking. Over 20,000 people have packed this Rose Garden, and they are in full throat chanting defense with their team on top by 3. Von Wafer by Rudy Fernandez. He was going for the reverse flush. Greg Oden blocks it, and it's out of bounds off Von Wafer.
That's good basketball. Greg Oden making his presence felt, and this is what they wanted from the #1 draft pick. Protect the paint, block shots, rebound, and he did that on this play. Good move by Von Wafer. Nowhere to go but underneath. The backboard blocked it. Greg Oden blocked it. That's just good basketball by the big fella.
2 blocks for Greg Oden, 6 in the game for the Portland Trail Blazers, and they lead 71-68 as we step aside. To log on to NBA.com right now for the most extensive playoff coverage and in-depth highlights of this matchup between the Blazers and Rockets, as well as up-to-date scores, stats, schedules, and post-game press conferences from the 2009 NBA playoffs. NBA.com, the game happens here. And we have a game from the Rose Garden. The home Blazers looking to stay alive on top 71-68. They are the youngest team in these playoffs, giving up 3 years of experience collectively, roster to roster, with the Houston Rockets. Rockets shooting 48, Blazers shooting 45. Here we go. Brandon Roy picked up by Artest. He's been dogging them all night. Outlaw, the finger roll over Yao, and it's rejected by Ming. Roy into the corner for Outlaw. 5 on the shot clock. Bang! Travis Outlaw hits the 3, and the lead doubles to 6.
That's a big one for the Blazers. Also a confidence booster for Travis Outlaw. Now you have another option. Marcus is going, and I think Outlaw will get it going right now.
Portland on a 10-0 run in the last 3.5 minutes. The crowd on their feet here at the Rose Garden. Blazer Mania is back. Brooks way off with that 3, defended well by Outlaw. That's got to be a 24-second shot clock violation, and it is. The Blazers a chance to build on their 6-point lead.
Well, you look at it right here. Yao knocked it out. Brandon Roy did the right job, getting it back out to Outlaw. Yao Ming closing out. That might have helped Outlaw. 7-6 running at you. You definitely have to arc it.
Travis Outlaw has not had a great game. He has 10 points, but on 4 of 13, but that 3 had to feel good. You can see the Blazers shooting well from 3-point land, 46%. The Rockets, yuck, 2 of 12. 5 on the shot clock. Roy, right in Battier's face. That's the best shot of the game, and the lead is 9 for Portland.
This is a scary moment for the Rockets. You must get a score right now, because I think it's Brandon Roy time.
An incredibly difficult shot. Yao Ming's going to try to restore order for the Rockets. He cannot. The rebound snatched by LaMarcus Aldridge.
What he did, Rick, was settle. Yao Ming, he settled for the jump shot instead of banging into Greg Oden and making something happen.
Roy right into Yao's face, and he scores again. A 15-0 run for the Blazers. They're up by 11.
You got to get a timeout right here, Rick Adelman, because right now the Blazers are rolling. Brandon Roy is taking over this basketball game.
Uprise is the slogan for the Blazers in these playoffs. They don't want to go home. They want to go back to Houston for Game 6 on Thursday. For the Trail Blazers, and we resume action at the Rose Garden with Aaron Brooks. Kicking it out to Ron. Ron 4-3. Had to have it, and he nailed it. And we're back to an 8-point game.
Needed that one. That was the big one. This gets it down to where if you get a couple stops, you're right back in the game. You missed that one, and the score by the Blazers, the Rockets might have pushed the panic button.
First basket in 5 minutes and 10 seconds for the Rockets by Artest. Now Ron up in Roy's grill. Roy defended by Skolin. Ends up in the hands of Rudy. And the rebound taken by Aldridge. Another possession for the Blazers and a chance to run more clock.
Good rebound by LaMarcus Aldridge. Extra possessions. Any way you can get it, you'll take it.
We're under 4 minutes to go. Down to 10 on the shot clock for Brandon Roy. Off the Greg Oden screen. He'll take it. And he will miss it. And the rebound comes to Yao Ming.
This is where Aaron Brooks has to show leadership as a point guard. Cannot commit turnovers. Put the basketball in Artest's hands. You have to make plays. That was a good shot.
In and out for Ron Artest. Got a clean look. He's having an off night. 3 of 8 from the field. Just 10 points for Ron. And a timeout by Nate McMillan. 3:19 to go and an 8-point lead for Nate McMillan's Trailblazers. When we come back, we'll see what he draws up. Over the place, most of them highly creative. And Greg Oden, #1 overall pick a couple of years ago, playing some Dion Bonhoeffer, playing a lot of Dion Yao Ming.
Yes, doing a good job of being Priscilla. Sitting down on Yao's legs, doing a good job of contesting, stay down on that play. And the Blazers are getting some valuable minutes out of Greg Oden. Now he's going right back to Priscilla to try to finish this game.
Greg Oden, 2 blocks, 4 rebounds in 15 minutes. Priscilla back into the game. He has 4 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 block. Brandon Roy and the Trailblazers, a +8. Aldridge over Scola. And the rebound to Ron Artest. Big possession for the Houston Rockets.
Huge. Where do you go?
Under 10 on the shot clock. Aaron Brooks into the paint. Nice feed to Scola. A series of fakes. He goes glass and he scores. Luis Scola has made this a 6-point game, and he has 21.
It was a big possession for the Rockets. Now this pressure's all on the Blazers. Where do you go? Roy. Where would I go? Roy. Give him the basketball.
Roy picked up beautifully by Battier. The screen by Priscilla. And a foul on the Houston Rockets.
Let's look at this right here. Shane Battier trying to get around the screen. Yeah, he has Brandon Roy's left arm.
And on the replay, when you saw Battier's head go into the torso of Priscilla, that was the personification of playoff intensity.
Yes.
Trying to fight through 7-1, 245 against all odds. That's the 4th foul on Battier. Brandon Roy at the stripe, where that stroke is butter. He's 3 of 3, now 21 points in the game. He's 8 of 8 from the floor, and the lead is 7 for the Trailblazers.
Needed that one.
And we just made it perfectly clear that the broadcaster jinx still very much in play. Aaron Brooks, the running teardrop with the right hand, and it's a 5-point game.
I love Aaron Brooks. Rick Alderman must love Aaron Brooks as well. Traded Ray for Austin, put the basketball in this young guy's hand, and he's been delivering.
7-1 run now for the Houston Rockets. Priscilla almost turned it over. Under 10 on the shot clock. Blake makes the fake on Yao Ming, and he scores to put the Blazers back up by 7.
That hesitation froze Yao Ming. He was stuck in his tracks.
Under 2 minutes to go. Rockets in must-score territory, and Ron Artest cannot. Rebound to Aldridge, and the Blazers in full control.
Not a great shot for Ron Artest. He settled. You try to get it back too quick. You still could have scored. Made it a 5-point game. Right now it's 7 because of that ill-advised shot. Could go up 9 or 10.
Brandon Roy for the knockout punch. In and out.
Push.
Brooks, the crossover on Blake. Goes glass, can't hit. Blake the rebound, and he's spun around by Aaron Brooks. Steve Blake will stride to the line for the Blazers. He is 1 of 2 from the line in this game.
Look at Steve Blake right here. Comes off the screen. Shows shot. Hesitation. Yao stuck. Nothing he can do, Yao. He got stuck. And Steve Blake laid the basketball up.
The crafty Steve Blake at the line. Yao Ming and the Houston Rockets trying to escape the first round, but nothing's easy in the playoffs, baby.
Not at all. And guess what? This game is coming down to the end where from wire to wire, both teams have played hard. Both teams have really competed. It's just been the Blazers making more plays than the Rockets so far.
The Trailblazers looking to stay alive. They have a 9-point lead. Houston timeout. Trailblazers had a 6-point lead to start the fourth quarter of Game 4 in Houston. They gave up 10 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, made a couple of mistakes in the final minute, and they gave away the game. So a 3-1 lead for the Houston Rockets heading into this Game 5 for the Portland Trailblazers. But Smitty, they have been the team that has been making the clutch plays, making the poised plays down the stretch here to stay alive, or an attempt to stay alive in Game 5.
I think, and also they've been the team that's getting the stops. And when you look at it right now, they look like they're in rhythm. The Houston Rockets, like I said, they don't have a guy offensively that they can just run the offense through. Chris Billa, you really have to take your hat off to him. He's had an excellent game tonight. And right now the Rockets have to play the foul game. Yao Ming has 15 points, but what he's done is limit the touches. And then also, Rick, playing off the ball. When guys try, still getting off Yao to make plays like he did against Brooks.
Joe Przybilla has 2 blocks. The Trailblazers have 7 blocks. And when you look at the hustle board, the steals and the blocks, a combined 17 for Portland, a combined 6 for the Houston Rockets as Roy hits the first free throw, taking the lead to 10. Based on those hustle board stats, Smitty, you tell me who wants this game more. And as we can see, Rick Adelman has thrown in the white towel. Yao Ming out, Ron Artest out, Shane Battier out, and his deep reserves are into this game. Brian Cook and former D-leaguer James Flight White.
Yes, indeed. Now you're saying, hey, we're going back to Houston, got to regroup. And for me, I think for the Rockets, you have to come out and get the next game. I don't think they want to come back here and try to decide this one in Game 7 in the Rose Garden.
Ahmad, GP, and C-Web are standing by.
What in the world? What the Brian Cook almost ripped the backboard down.
Smitty, as you like to say, he gave himself a chance.
He did. He must be a little bit upset at Jerry West because he aimed right for him.
The Portland Trailblazers, 34-7 at home during the regular season, one of the best home marks in the NBA. And Brandon Roy hits again, sending this crowd into full-on exultation mode. He has 25 points. The lead is 13, and Game 5 will go to the Blazers. How much you want to bet Brian Cook gets this one up? And he's scored off glass.
50% in 10 seconds. He's gave himself a big chance.
So the final from Portland in Game 5, the Trailblazers 88, the Rockets 77. There will be a Game 6 Thursday in Houston. For Smitty and our crew, I'm Rick Kamla. Let's send it to Ahmad, GP, and C-Web in Atlanta.